name is Hadriana, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, hello and welcome. In this session, we're going to be doing some intuition doodling. And as part of that, I would like to bring in a little technique of how to create dome shapes on your page so it looks 3D and it sort of looks pop out. So as part of doing the drawing, which is going to be around using the neurographic technique, which I'll go into a bit more detail when we get going in that part of the tutorial today. So I want to start off first with showing you the things that I'm going to be using and that you will need to have to hand to do this tutorial. Now, I've got underneath here, I'm using an A5 sketch pad, and this is 180 grams. And I've got here, as you probably spotted earlier, I have here stencil. And as I mentioned, is that I want to focus on showing how you can create a 3D effect, in our case a dome effect, on the page. So I'm going to be using this circle and I'm going to be using this circle just as a guide. Let me just do a quick measure. The medium one is about 3 centimeters. Let's have a look. Am I looking in the right place? No, it's 4 centimeters. And I'm going to check the small one. And that looks, it's about 3 centimeters. So they're just roughly, and they don't need to be the same size as mine. I'm just giving you a rough idea of the sizes that I'm using for this particular session. You can use, if you've got a protractor, go ahead and use it. You can use the end of bottles, anything that sort of creates a circle. So for example, you can do it freehand. I can't do freehand. I need something to help me get my shapes right, never mind a circle. So what I've got here, as you can see, this is well loved, is that I have cut a piece of the kitchen roll, and on the bottom you can use the flat side and put that against your page. And then if I grab my pencil, I suggest doing the drawing of your circle from the inside, because what that means is that you can hold it in place however your hand is able to hold it, and then you can use your pencil to go around and you can see how it looks. Because I find going all the way around this way, you may need to, well I do, I find I've got to move my hand here, for example, and continue, and I'm more likely to move it. So I would suggest just holding it like so and going through the middle. The other thing is, as I was saying, you can use anything around your home, or that you've got. I've got this trusty little cup that I have my tea in as a treat, and I can turn it over like you would, and just draw a circle around there. And I was worried when I first got it, because I didn't know about that there could be holes at the bottom of this, and did get me a bit worried, but no, it's fine. I'm sure there's some of you out there going, yes, of course it will have that. But it was my first one, and I just thought, oh, it's lovely, and let me get one of those. So the other thing is, I mentioned the notepad and the stencil. I'm going to now show you the pencil that I'm using, and I'm using a HB pencil, and this is a refillable one, because I like using those. because of the grip. I love the grip of it. And also, I find it difficult to sharpen. And I love using my pencils, so I would be constantly sharpening them. And what I use, share with you. Oh, everything's dropping. Just a moment. Let's put everything back. Stay. Forgive me if it all starts tumbling down, and this is what happens when you've only got a small place, a small bit to craft in. So I use this let me see, swordfish sharpener, and this is because when I open it I can put any size pencil into it, and also because it can stay stable like this, I can actually hold it on top, and it's got a nice little winder on it. You can get the electronical version, which I have had, but I really love that one more than my electrical ones, I have to say. So what, as I said, we're going to be doing is making our circle pop into a dome shape. So I'll be using a black pencil, so I'm using the Castle Arts range, and it's a soft touch, and I'm using the ivory black, which is the 071, and for my main color I'm going to be using ultramarine violet, and it's 040. And the thing I wanted to show you, you can pick any color that you like. This is just the color that I'm using for our session. And the way to check whether it's something that you want to use is to think about the gradient. So I'm going to start off by really pressing hard. Like maybe if I just zoom in just a touch. So what I'm doing is I'm really pressing hard, so I can see that's the darkest it will get. And then what I'm going to do is to gradually bring it up, and as I'm coming to the end, I'm releasing my pressure. So I can see how the one color is going to look when I do my shading. Right, so I like the way that looks. So with the black, what we'll be doing is to make those darker parts even more darker. So that's the reason why we've got those two colors, and that's a good way of you checking the color that you're using. The other thing that, so I mentioned the pencil, we're going to need an eraser. We're going to need marker pens, and and we I mean, I'm using the Uni 0.1 and 0.5. They're the two that I'm using. If you don't have these to hand, please don't feel that you have to go out and buy these particular ones. Use an ordinary marker. All it means is that you have to do the thicker lines, any thicker lines we do, you just need to go over more than once to open that range out so it looks thick. So this is what I'm using, but remember you can use what's available to you. So they're all the bits. One more other bit is this. This is a makeup sponge. Again, very loved. And the reason why I'm suggesting that we use it, there you go, really loved, is that we can use it to do blending. So let me see if I bring back in that scrap piece of paper when I'm doing this. I'm actually blending in the color. Now I've done it quite exaggerated, but you would do this as you go along, and also to be mindful that by doing this, you also could be removing some of the color, some of the pencil. So so as we're doing it, we will decide whether or not we need to use it in the same way that you'll discover whether or not you want to add that to your artwork. So as always, for us to get into that space, I would like to invite you to do some meditation. I'm going to play some meditation, play a meditation, a guided meditation, so that you can listen along to and become present and relax and ready to go into our intuition drawing. So I'm going to pause for a little while, and I'm going to play the meditation, the guided meditation, and I'll see you back on the other side. Bye. Hello and welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to your meditation, where you're going to have an opportunity now to take out time for yourself. The time that your body, your mind, and your soul and your spirit have been craving for a little while. A time when you're going to leave that does not serve you outside for a little while, whilst you take this time for yourself. With that, please can I invite you to get yourself comfortable, uncross your legs, keep your feet firmly on the ground, put your hands on your lap. Just get yourself comfortable. And now when you're ready, please close your eyes. Now imagine you're in a shower and the water is washing off all the tension around your body. Just feel that for a moment. Just feel the water feeling so warm, so cleansing. And as you breathe in slowly and deeply down into your tummy, and you're breathing out slowly, you're feeling more and more in this space, in this time, just enjoying that shower. And bring your awareness to the top of your head and just breathe into it a little bit. And as you do so, feel the tension releasing from there and from your face. Imagine yourself washing down your face, bringing the calm of the water, washing off the tension to your throat. As you bring your awareness down to your throat, you feel your voice opening and relaxing as you come down to your shoulders. You're feeling the water really keeping your shoulders lovely and soft and relaxed. Remember, you can give that anywhere that is still tensing a little rub, a little love, a little breathing too. As you go down into your tummy, and give your tummy a little rub and the lower back. And you're now down into your seating bones. And you're feeling that starting to release now, all the way down to your feet and connecting you to the earth. You've never felt so relaxed, so calm. So I'm going to invite you to take 3 big breaths in and out. And when we take these circular breaths, I would like you to breathe all the way down into your tummy. Hold your breath just for a moment and then elongate it. So let's breathe in all the way down to your tummy. Just hold for a moment and relax. And breathe in again. Breathe in calm and release all that does not serve you. Let's breathe in again, calm. Hold for a moment and release all that does not serve you. And just bring your awareness now to your chest. Feel how calm it is now. And with that, your shower changes into a waterfall. The biggest waterfall, the sparkles, the shine from the sun, the birds singing. You can even smell the cleansiness of that water. And you can see that the water is now so clear because it's taken away all the tension from your body. And you're feeling so calm and so relaxed. As we bring this meditation to a close, I invite you to repeat after me, either in your mind or out loud. You choose. I am intrigued to discover my inner wisdom through the power of my artwork and my intuitive mind. As we prepare to come back into the room, please wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, stretch, yawn, and when you're ready, please open your eyes. Hello, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the meditation and you are in the space now where life gets lifey, as we know, but it's getting lifey outside, somewhere else, as we're spending the time to be with ourselves and just take a break. So the first part that we're going to do is we're going to be creating the circles. And the idea of creating these circles is to not to think about it at all. Is to just put the circles around based on how you feel. And the feeling is your intuition speaking to you and guiding your hands in certain areas. So it's a matter of letting go and letting that happen. And also we'll be using our pencil because we're going to be just placing them to begin with on the page. Now I said I'm going to be using these two, but I may change my mind because that's the point of the intuition. You can at some point think, you know what, I don't particularly need another circle or even an additional circle. You look at it and think, you know what, that's okay, I'm happy with that. All right, so the amount of circles don't matter. It literally is how you feel you want your circles, you feel your circles need to be on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing some circles, and what I'm going to do is to be quiet for a little while as I'm drawing the circles, because all of this is part of the relaxation and the meditative part of doing this particular type of doodling. So I'm going to pause, stop talking for a little bit and allow you to just take that time to be with yourself and let go and enjoy making your circles. Okay, well, I've completed my bubbles. If you haven't, please pause the video and come back to it when you have. So just need to sit with those, the circles that you've created. Just sit and have a look at them for a moment. You don't need to have anything come to mind. It's just an acknowledgement of where you are through the creative process at this moment. We're now going to go in. I'm going to pick up my 0.5, and this is where, if you haven't got a thick enough pen, so really what you want is ideally one thick one like this and a thin one. If not, the thick one, just ensure that you do a few circles around it. It's because once we start doing the intricate details, you need to be able to see where the pen is, where those circles are. So I'm just going to go in with my 0.5, and again I'm going to keep quiet as we do this. The other thing to bear in mind is that you don't have to be absolutely precise in terms of putting the going over the pencil markings. You can use them, which they are just guides. They're just guides to where you feel that you want the circles to be. And I'm going to go over it with the using the same stencil. Obviously, if you feel that you can, just do it by hand, but just feel that they're only guides is what I really want you to feel it as. And if you what was I saying now? If oh, it'll come back to me later. I'll probably wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, I'm going to stay quiet for a little while now whilst you're going through, drawing out your circles. And just remember to breathe and bring your attention back to your breathing and just feeling grounded and into that space as you draw the circles. And take your time. That's what it was. Yeah, no rush. Just take your time. Okay, I finished mine. And as always, if you haven't completed yours, please pause the video and come back and join us. So the next part is no need to rub out the eraser. Sorry, no, you don't need to remove the pencil markers. You know, rub out the pencil markings at this point. Want to really give it a chance to rest, to dry, and we're going to be making more lines that we're going to need to use the eraser to remove. So at this point it doesn't matter. I'm going to say to just leave them until the end, and then all the pencil markings can be removed at the same time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be creating those the lines, and it's about the lines are really going to become our doodling. This is the let it go and let your intuition guide your hand and your mind in the direction on the page without you having any control. Just let it go and let your hand go so that it just goes where it wants to go. It does the shapes, it gives the movement, it doesn't matter. You just keep going. And when you stop to look at it, don't say, oh, this bit is not fitting or whatever. Say, no, leave it the way it is. Even if there's great big gaps in your doodling, leave it as it is, because it's about the intuition. It's about knowing to keep going until you're ready to stop, until your intuition's ready to stop. But in this case, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing it for 30 seconds. I'm going to set a timer. And this is to ensure that you give yourself a little time to do it. And then we can then go on to the next stage, because you really want to have a nice sort of spaghetti junction. And once we've got that, I will explain more about what it is that is on that page, because it's better as we go along and it's in front of you, that it's easier to understand what I'm jibber jabbering about. So as I said, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the timer, and our timer is going to be for 30 seconds. So let me just make sure that you can see the timer. Let me see, what's it doing? Oh, technical stuff, technical stuff. Why isn't it let me put the timer on? Hello, I'm back. I had to pause the video at that point because technical hit. It didn't want me to put the counter on, the countdown counter on the screen, but I'm not letting it get away with that. As you can see, the counter is up. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to set the timer for 30 seconds, and as the count during the countdown, we're going to just be letting our intuition move our hand around without any control whatsoever. Yeah, it can do any sort of movement. You just let it go. And what you can do is to do it with your eyes shut. You can look down at it, look in the gaze. It's up to you. You can even close your eyes. I will give a 5-second countdown so that you'll know if your eyes are shut, to know that it's about to come to an end. So I'm going to press my timer on now for 30 seconds, and during this time I'm not going to say anything, because the idea again is for you to get into that flow and for you to sort of listen and feel where your intuition is taking your hand. So we'll start now. 3, 2, 1. I got carried away there. I'm very much carried away. Oh, timer. So, what you can see is that we've got a very lively page in front of yourselves. And what we need to first of all do is to look for where there's lines. If I zoom in a bit more, you can see I've got a line here that's not attached to anything. So what I will do is with my pencil, I will take this and bring it to the edge. So if I've got any more, like down here, I'll show you again. I've actually got 1, 2, 3 of them. That's actually part of it, but I'm going to say that it's sticking out on its own, because really that's how it looks. So I'm going to be bringing this down into there, and this one I can do two things. I can join it, or I can make them go separate ways. So what I'm going to do is that this can go down to there, or it could have gone straight, and I'm just going to bring this one into here. Okay, the idea, just have a quick look. I'll try not to move my page too much or too quickly. Is that I can see I've got another one here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to bring it down into a space. And the reason why I let my hand go like that, because that's the way that my feeling just went into that flow. So I just brought it down wherever the feeling took me. So have a look around your canvas for that, and don't worry if you don't get all of them at this stage. As you're going along, you'll see them and you'll do the same thing to them, make them have an ending. So now we're going to take the smallest of the pens that I'm using, because these are used for Zentangling as well, and we're going to be doodling, not Zentangling. Because Zentangling is actually a trade technique, and you need to have special ticks, as I always put it, tick boxes for you to be able to run it. So this is why, and it is doodling, so we're calling it as it is, but we're using these pens. So as I said, I'm taking my smallest one. Again, you take the one that you've got in your hand, whether it's the smallest one or just the one that you're going to be using. And for me, let me pick one that I want to pick one that's got lots of bits so that I can show you, which is this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking at these lines, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw over these lines with my pen. I'm going to try and hold it in a way that you can see what I'm doing, but you will hold yours up or however you feel comfortable. Now forgive me, because at some point I'm going to forget myself, get into the zone, and I'm going to lift it up. So I have to think really a lot about the fact that I'm not sitting here doing it alone. I'm doing it with yourselves. So I'm going to be following the line, so you do the same. And the key thing to do as well whilst drawing the lines is to look ahead. So I know that for example, this line, I know that I want it to go all the way down to here. I'm going to see if I do it this way. So what I'm doing is I'm looking ahead. So I'm going to look to there first. And now I'm going to look to here. And now I'm going to look to here. Because what you're doing is you're bringing it towards the direction that you're going. Think about it when you're walking down the street. You're looking in the direction that you're going in so that you're following that path. So let's do all the lines in our in one of the bubbles, in one of the circles. And what I'll do again is that I will stay quiet whilst I'm doing my one. And that's because, again, I want you to use this moment to breathe, relax more into your body, and notice how you're feeling and your body's feeling in terms of the relaxation, and your heart and your chest, how it's moving more slowly and softly. And still taking notes around your body. If there's still any tension, just breathe into it. If other thoughts come into your mind, just acknowledge it, say thank you, and remember, Lively says Lively outside for this moment. This time is for you. So I'm going to stay quiet for a moment and until I've done this, and then I will continue. Okay, I've done mine now. Okay, my lines look a bit wobbly, but that's because of the way that I was holding my pen. That's fine. I'll go back in and I'll clear it up a bit later on. So now this is part of the neurographics that I was mentioning earlier, that these lines are roads that we come across, and we've got to make decisions where we're going, and do we go this way, do we go that way, how, what, complete confusion. And this is what this sort of represents in terms of our minds. Our brains have got all these pathways, all these nerves and information that it's got to carry around. It's like being on the road and seeing across, getting up to a junction. Do you turn left, do you turn right? And the reason for this as well is that when we come to do the next part, which is looking at where these crossroads are. What we're going to do is to soften them so that they become round, sort of smoothed out, so it's just, yeah, sort of a round corner rather than a sharp bend. So I'm going to do this one because I think it's easier to see. And the best way to do this is to create the marker and then color it in. So what do I mean? So I'm just going to draw the U, if you like, just set the shape of the circle that the corner that I want to smoothen out, and then I just color it in like so. So I'm going to do the same on this side because I can see there's a cross here, so a sharp edge there, and I'm going to color it in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look here, and although it's a bit curved, I think it needs to be a bit more curver. So what I might do here is that I may feel that I don't need to do so much of the curve. So I might just try it little by little like this. You can see I'm just creating the extra lines, and to me that's good. That's good enough. And then around here again, I feel I can just use my pen to soften it, and you can always go back in, which I will be doing, going over these lines and turn and make it more sort of rounded. I'm going to pick another spot. Let me do this spot because that's quite a good space to demonstrate some other stuff to you. So just going to have a look at this. I can see that there's a bend here. There's another one here. So you can see I'm just having a look around to see where the crossroads are. And actually these against the circle shape are also need to be softened. So I'm going to do this area. So I've got this little triangle here. So I will be doing some curving out, softening the edges. And so remember I was saying for these ones to draw the half the circle and then color it in. You can start building on the circle, or the half circle rather, like this, until you get it the way that you want it. And the same here. Yeah, and here. So I've covered it like this. So you may get ones that's like this one here, which is too small. So I'm just going to color it in completion. And then I'm looking at this one and I'm thinking I'm going to color it in, because I don't see the need to make it any smaller. But you can do so if you so wish. So now, as I always say, you're looking at your artwork and you make a decision about what's happening with the artwork or how it looks based on what you see. So I'm looking at here as another one. I'm going to add in a bit there. And then, as I was saying, these are also part of the corners that needs to be softened. So I am going to start from this side over here, and I'm going to do that half crescent like this, and I'm going to do the same here, just a nice little curve, and color that in. As you can see, I'm starting to now clear it up as much as possible and acknowledging any connections. So here, I'll show you again. Just going to go in, a bit awkward with my hands. For you, you'll be turning yours around however feels comfortable to you. So I've done here, I'm going to do this side. And just for doing the last bit, I'm going to do this side as well. Okay, so what we're going to do, the next stage, is to complete all the circles in this way, because it just makes it easier as a focal point, that you're not losing where your circles are. So let's start off with doing that. I'm going to pause the video and I'll see you back on the other side. Hello and welcome back. I hope that you've now had an opportunity to go round your circles, and in the middle of them go over the pencil markings with your pen and soften the sharp edges so that they are round rather than pointy. We're now going to be looking at the other markings, the other pencil lines, and we're going to be doing the same thing as we did with the circles. The other thing I want to show you is I've noticed areas like this, for example, where the, if I just bring that in, where I haven't finish this line off, because remember, it's all about completion. There should be no sort of hanging lines out. So I've got to bring this to a point where it's not hanging out like that. So now for me, I'm going to bring it in and bring it in like so. And that's because I felt that that was what I wanted to do. I may have wanted to go around and let it go out that way. Again, what I was doing is I was following my intuition, just following how I feel, rather than saying I want it to. Yeah, as a thing that you really think, now, well, actually, if I do it there, it's going to look better. I wanted to, as much as possible, just let go and say, right, going to do it like this, or without worrying about the way that it looks on the page, because it's about your inner feelings and letting that flow. So you will notice things like this as you're going along. You don't need to just sit there and have a look at it and find every single one. You can if you want to, but you can get going and then you can look as you're going along. Right, so let's have a look at doing one area here. I think I'm going to do here because it's busy and it's got a lot of things in here that we can go through together. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be getting the lines and I'm going to be going over the pencil lines with my 0.1. Okay, so I'm going to start anywhere in this space. So for you, again, there is no sort of you must start from here. So for example, I can start in the middle here. There we go. But it didn't want to work for me there for a minute. So then I'm going to just follow it round. And do here. You can already tell there's a line here. And do here. And I hope you notice what I'm doing is, in this case, I'm doing it little parts, and I'm not worrying about doing the whole line at this point. So you can do a combination, you can draw the whole line. There's no reason why I couldn't have gone down the bottom here, but I just felt like doing just these little areas just here. Let me bring it down a bit more. So what I'm going to do is decide that it's quite small, so I'm just going to color it in. See, because you remember that when we was doing the other parts, what the circles, is that I was showing you that if it's too small, then just color it in. if you are looking at a particular area and you're thinking, actually, there's a corner in there where I should really just fill it in and reshape it because that's how I feel I want it to look. And then to do so as well. So let's do this one. As I was saying, I think this is too small for me to want to do anything with that. And I'm going to do the same here. And I'm going to do the same here. Okay. So now let's have a look. I'm going to go down and follow some more. And I'm just going to keep going. And I'm going to do the same thing because there's a corner here. And I can notice there's a corner here with the bubbles. And there's a corner here, and here's a small one. So I'm just going to color that in. And there's another sort of sharp edge. I'm going to soften that there. Okay, and again, I can see this one. So have a look at what's in front of you. Okay. And I'm just going to keep going and doing a bit more. And for you as well to sit with me and do some. And as always, I'm going to pause on saying anything, speaking, so that you can spend some time just zoning in and relaxing whilst doing this element of our work, our artwork. And remember to breathe and take calm and just think about what's happening in your body, how it's feeling. Okay, so we've done a little bit of it together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause our recording, and I'd like you to go away and do the rest of your artwork. Continue doing this. Now remember, you take as long as you need and as you want. Don't feel that you must sit down and do it in one whole sitting. You may want to just take time out specifically to do it all in one sitting, if that's how you so feel you want to do this, or you can just do it a little bit at a time. And when you finish, then come back into the recording and come back and do the next bit. So I'll see you late. I'll see you when you finish and you come back. And what we'll be doing, excuse me, what we'll be doing is that we will be looking at the circles to make them that dome shape. The other thing, actually, as we're going around, as I was saying, the circle becomes less easier to see. So I'm going to take my 0.5 and just by hand, I'm going to go round like this. Oh, let me come back down. So what I was doing, I was going around the edges. Let me turn it this way, I think. Yeah, I'm just making it thicker. And I'm not worrying about if one side is thicker than the other and all that sort of stuff. I'm just going to go around. As you can see, that bit is gone out a bit more. That's all right. I'm just going to do this bit with you. I'm going to go all the way around. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other circle. Because actually, I think I'll suggest that going around the circles actually and doing this first would be better, because then it's all done, isn't it? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around all my circles, just thicken them up. Because the lines of the circle can get lost with all the other lines that's happening around it. So there, so now you can see it better, and also look at what's your artwork is looking like in front of you. You can see what you've got, and just do how you feel it needs to be. So what I mean is, remember, it doesn't have to be exactly like mine. So you may feel you're looking at this and you think, you know what, I want it even more thicker. Don't worry about going over these extra lines around it. It's more about getting the circle more prominent, so that when we come to do the shading to create the domes, that it's there. And again, make the lines, as the border, as thick as you want. We can always come back as we're as we're doing the colouring in. We may feel that we want to make it thicker again. So not to worry about that, just to make it thicker to begin with. So do all the circles and then go in and do all the lines around the edging, around the other extra pencil lines. And enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello and welcome back. I hope that you've managed to go through every single circle and to mark and to go over each one of the pencil lines with your marker. And the marker I was using is 0.1. And also not just go over the pencil markings, but to go into the areas where there's the crossroads, the sort of point, and to soften them out by making them round. So this was the areas here. I take my pencil, just easier to point with it. So around here, let me come in a bit as well, so you can see. Yeah, let's try it. All right, if you can see that, let's bring it in a bit. So on the lines, all the lines here, they were in pencil, and there were parts of it, like here and here, would have been sort of a point there. So what we did was that for each one of those points, we were softening them to make them curve rather than having these hard points in there. So the next part now is I've done a little bit just so that it's easier for you to see what the next part that we're going to be looking at in this part of the session. So for each one of the circles, what I've done is I've gone round and thickened the outside of each one. This is because when we start doing all the lines in our artwork, it's going to be easier to see where the circles are, because remember that this is part of what we're going to be doing, is to look at making these circles look as if they're popping up, they're 3D. And I've gone ahead and done a little bit of the pencil, going over the pencil, just so that with the 0.1, just so that you can see what we're going to be doing next. So we're going to be joining all the rest of the lines that we've got on our artwork. But what I would like to do first is I want to start with going around each one of the circles and putting a marker, making the circle, yeah, the border a bit thicker, a little bit like this. So I'm still using the 0.5 for this one, because that's the one that we used to actually make the circles. When we were doing the tracing, we used the 0.5. So we're going to use the 0.5 again, and I'm going to just make it thicker. And I'm not going to worry about whether it's equal or not. I'm just going to keep going around. Like this for each one of the circles. So again, this is all about still being mindful, still breathing and taking awareness to your breath, looking at your body, taking awareness to anywhere that there is tension. And even whilst you're doing this, it's just to breathe calm and back into the moment. So I'm going to do this one as well. I'm only going to do these two, and I'm glad I've done that, because then you can see that all I'm going to do, I'm not even going to bring this part up, I'm just going to keep going. You can see all I'm doing is making the lines thicker. I could use a thicker nib, but I just wanted to do it like this so that if you don't have one to hand, you can see how I've made the border thicker. And remember, take your time. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, shall I do one more? Yeah. No, let's leave it like this. And there you go. There me being rustic. Actually, what I wanted to do is this one. Yeah. You can see this is not prepared in advance. I'm doing it live with you. And you're seeing how my mind works as well. Just move around and see what feels right. And that's what I'd like you to do as well. Just move around and feel what is right and where you would like to start. Because as you can see, I basically started in the middle of my piece. You could start at the end, you could start anywhere you like on your piece, because it's going to be the same no matter where you are. So I'm just going to finish off this one, because between us coming to the last part, you can do the rest of your big borders around your bubbles. Then I'm now going to pick up my 0.1 and I'm going to now start on these lines. I'm going to start somewhere around here, just so that you can see it's separate to here. So what I'm going to do, and you do the same, just pick an area where you want to start doing your lines, and you just take your marker and go over the pencil marks. Now remember, the pencil marks are guidelines. Don't worry too much if it's not exact. Life is not exact. I hope my pen's not going to run out on me. I do have some more to hand if this one decides not to. So in this corner here, I saw that there was a point, so I made that round area here and coloured it in. I'm going to look at this part here as well. Now you can see that it's sort of semi pointy on this part. I'm still going to give it that curve. So you can see that there are some times where you just need to work that curve in, rather than always thinking that you have to do the half circle like this, just to get that shape that you want, and then colouring it in. Okay, so just look out for that, so that there may be spots in your artwork where you don't need to just focus on, like here, focus on the fact that you need to do that half circle like this, and then under to colour that in. You may have areas like this. Let's go on to this one. So I'm just going to go on my line. So you'll be doing this. I'm trying to as much as I can to keep my pen out of the way of the camera. And then now, the same before, I can see that this part are do have the point, but in some areas it may look like it's going to be it's not going to be sort of straight. It's going to be sort of how would I explain it? It's going to look like it did there. You're going to see a straight part, which is like this, but you want to curve this area, and you necessarily don't want to do make the curve like this and color it in. So the same thing like here, even though I'm coloring it in, I'm actually thinking more about making this area curve or curve. I'm going to do another one because I think I went over too many words there. It might not have made sense, so I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to go across here because this is another good example. Okay, so I've got this part here, and there is still a little pointy bit in there, so I'm going to curve that. And I'm looking at this, and the point is actually this side, but there you can see clearly that it's still going in a point, but the point is coming along here and along here. So it's a bit wider than usual when you're looking at the circle. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to curve it right across just to tidy it up a bit. And then we're here. So I'm going to curve that a bit. I'm going to go down. And I'm looking here again. And I can see there's 2 points. So I'm going to do my half circle. Yeah, and you can see it came out straight there, but that's fine. I can work it in like so. And go in. And around here, do the same. I just want to curl that button as well. And as you can see, I'm just working my way around. And the fact that I've made this thicker, it's my piece, in the same way it's your piece. It's your artwork. It's still beautiful because it's yours. Okay, you can see that I'm working my way around. The other thing I wanted to show you is that I have made some markings here of my pen, slip of the hand. So I thought I'd show you this. The ones that are within the actual bubble, I'm not going to worry about it. And these, once we've gone round and you get to that area and you start doing the lines, it may not show, all right? But if you find like this one, what I'm thinking when I get there, I may look at joining it up in here and bringing that one down to here. So don't think it's, oh no, it's rubbish, gotta throw it away and start again. You can work around it. Okay, so I want you to keep going. I don't want you to stop and think that you've got to start again. Just keep going through it, because remember, it's about being in the moment and relaxing and just being a space away from everything for a moment. And even when you're just waiting in the for an appointment, again, you can sit with that. It's something that you can put on a piece of paper and go along and do it. Even on a newspaper, you can doodle. All right, so what we'll do, oops, my timer's come back on, so let's switch that off. So what we'll do is I'll pause it here, and what we'll do is we'll come back. So go away and do this part, and remember, don't rush it, take your time. Okay, so I'll see you on the other side once you've completed all of this. Thank you. Bye. Hello, I thought I would just jump in again just to give a little bonus, because I have changed what I was showing you before about the 0.5. You can still use it, but what I found, which I'm going to share now, is I changed to, oops, not that one, a 1.2, and that's what gave me the circles to have the wider border. So I thought I'll just jump in and show you that I changed it to this, and I feel that it's working better for me to make these circles. And I'm going to hang on to this one, the 1.2, because I feel once we've gone through again, we may find that we need to go over the boundary of the outline of our circles just to make it pop again. So I am going to hold on to this to the side, but I thought whilst I'm here, I'll do some with you. So hopefully you've still got yours in front of you, and I thought let's sit and do a little bit together. So I'm going to be, you can see that I've started doing all of this bit, and the other thing that I've been doing is where it finishes. If I just move the camera a bit, there we go. Here, for example, you can see it's on the outskirts, if you like, on the outer part here, where there's no lines. It's sort of on the border. I'm still going to make sure that this area here is smoothed out as well. So I'm just going to go in there, and I've got my 0.1 now. Yeah, my other one said I've got no more ink now, leave me alone. So I've had to find another one in my stash, and luckily I've got one. If I didn't, I would be looking at using the 0.2. It's just a little bit thicker, but it's not so thick that you know, that it won't stick. It will still look thin. So again, I'm going to look down here. And around here. So you can see there's some areas where I've already put some of the circles, the smoothing of the corners, and there's areas that when I sort of glance back, I'm thinking I want to smooth this area out as well. So I'm just going to sit in here with you for a little while doing this, and also I thought it'd be great because not only that we're sitting together doing it, hopefully when I come up against something I can show you, or hopefully there'll be something in what I'm doing that will help you make a decision of what to do in terms of where I've put in curves or not. But also do it on your feel, because the way I've been explaining as well is I've been looking and thinking, right, there is a point here. So here, for example, let's do this bit. Hope you can see. Shall I zoom in just a little bit? There we go. So I'm going to do this area. Now I've got a line here, a line here, and I've got a line going across here. So let's do that first. I'm going to come all the way down here and down here. And then I'm going to go across. I'm just going to join that up a bit. And then here, remember when we was first doing the circles, here this is too small, so I'm just going to colour that bit in. I'm looking and I want to colour this bit in as well. Here, I think I'm going to just smoothen the edges, soften the edges there. I'm going to do the same here. And I'm going to leave that. So I'm going to go on to the next part here. So I'm going to sit here a while with you and do some. I hope you can see how slow I'm taking it. Just gently doing the lines. As I'm saying, it's not about rushing. It's about taking care and just focusing on what's in front of you for a little while. So I thought I'll join you for a bit. You can see here I'm looking and I feel I want to soften those edges. And then here you can see there's a point there. I think what I'll show you is, remember in the video or the section just before this one, I showed you that I've got a line here that is a slip of the pen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do around here so that you can have a sort of an idea of what I'm going to do with that line, with this line here, so that if you come across it on yours, you can have an idea of how you want to connect it, reconnect it into your artwork. So don't think of it as a mistake, think of it just an extra bit that needs to be connected into it. So to start off with, I'm not going to go straight onto it. I'm going to be looking around it first. So I'm going to do the line here and here. You don't need to keep going over it. It's just that I feel that I want to. You can leave it like so. I think it's just a habit as well. And also I find when I'm doing it, it seems to darken a bit. So I'm still going around in the corners. And do it again around here. You see I'm coming up to this line now, so I'm going to go like this around it. So what I'm trying to do is to integrate it into my artwork. I'm just going around it for now. And so, for example, I've gone all the way around here and I've noticed that actually these two corners need to be smoothed out. Okay, so now I'm looking at this. It's gone through there, so let's bring it in. And I'm going to integrate it by doing the same thing, looking where the sharp edges are. And now I'm going to look at this part only because I'm here. So I'm going to just look from here. And I've got this squiggly bit out here as well. And again, before extending it or doing anything with this, I'm going to do the area around it. So, an example, hasn't gone straight onto it, but that's fine. And it's not all the way over the pencil marking. And I'm going to leave it. I'm going to do that bit there. So that's enough around it. And before I get to it again, I'm going to be smoothing out the points. And here. And going around here as well. And since I'm here, I'm going to soften round up that area there. So now I've got this bit that is squiggly, and is going nowhere at the moment. So I'm just going to follow it, and I'm just looking at where the hand is going, where I want to go. So I'm not thinking I want to go from here to there. I'm just moving it across, and wherever it lays, it's fine. That's where it's supposed to be. So now what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to go in to these edges here and soften them. There, that's one part done. So let's have a look at this one, which is good because we've got quite a large space here. So let's have a look. So we've got this line here. So we're going to do the same. We're going to do this part first. So you can see that I've gone round it, and before I do anything, I'm just going to go round and soften the edges of the lines that I've just brought together. And now I can see that this line is here, and I'm going to decide just to colour that bit in. And you can see why I'm saying this now. Do the outside, and then you'll decide whatever piece is left. So on the other one, see, I can just barely remember where it is. So I'm going to follow that, and it was here. So with this one, remember we did all the edges first, and then when we brought this down, it was easier for us to see how we're going to blend it in into that area so that it looks seamless. And so I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to do this side. So I'm just going to turn mine a little bit more. Just make sure you can see it. And I'm going to go around here. And then down here. And follow it here. So now I'm going to leave this one because we're focusing down here. Alright, so you're already starting to see the join here. And now, because this is going straight down, I will just follow it down. Just keep it there because it's not so far that it makes any, for me personally, I wouldn't want to just add an extra line for the sake of doing it. It's already going down there, so I'm just going to join it. And I'm looking at this area, and it's small, so I'm going to color that in. This is an example where you don't really need to wait until you've done the whole thing because it's obvious. Okay, and then I'm going to do this area. Just softening, and I'm going to go across here and soften that point, and go down here, soften that point, and across here. And this is like the other places that I was showing you earlier in the previous part of the session, that here, although it doesn't seem too pointy, I can see that it's literally going there and round this. So what I want to round the circle, so what I want to do is to bring it more like so, so that it's still curving, but it looks as if it's curving, and these lines are coming out of the circle. Okay, so again, I'll just show you down here. So this is like the empty space, it's on the edge, but I'm still, when I go to here, so we're going to go in and do the line, and I'm just going to do it here as well, just for doing it. And here's another example of, there is a little point there, even though it's not too obvious, but I'm going to do the same as I did before. I'm going to soften these edges so it looks round and it looks as if it's coming out of the circle. Let me do the same here. And here. And I've got a spot here to do. And now down here, even though it's the edge, I'm going to still soften it on the opposite side because it's still just as important because it's part of your artwork. Okay, so thank you for hanging out with me a little bit longer, and see you once you've completed it all. So once I've done it, I'll jump back on and finish off our tutorial, because what we're going to do once we finish, we're going to now do the focal point in making our circles look 3D. So see you soon. Hello and welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed the extra little bonus video that we've just done, because I started looking at what I was doing and I thought, actually, let's just jump back in and have a little go together, because for the circle I used, let's see, where have you disappeared to? There we are. I used 1.2 because I found that it was it made the circle sort of pop a bit, as you can see. Even with all the wire work, if you like, you can still see the circle there. And remember, with yours, if you haven't got a thicker pen, just keep going until you get the thickness that, you know, that helps it to pop. Because as we're drawing or colouring in the circles, we need to see where they are on the page so that we can find them, and we can always again go over them with the pen, and I will see if I need my 1.2 again, but I've just got it to hand just in case. And what we're going to do, let me just grab a piece of paper. Because what I'm going to, oh, typical, it's rolled off, here we go. So what we're going to do now is to colour in the circles so that they look dome-like, they look 3D on our page. And right at the beginning I mentioned about the colour that you're choosing, and I suggested to choose a dark colour because then it's easier to bring it out into the light, to the light colour. So what I was suggesting is doing this first, getting your colour down and finding out how dark it goes. So I'm just going to keep going, and I can see this is getting quite dark. And now as I move my pencil along, I'm releasing the tension. I'm taking off the pressure rather as I'm going along. So I'm going a bit harder there, and I'm gradually lifting up my fingers. Well, the lead, the pencil, like so. And this is how I can tell how it's going to be, just some idea of how it's going to be when I go into my circle. The other thing is I mentioned about getting having a black color pencil as well. If you don't have it, use your HB pencil. It will do the same thing, but it will be a bit harsh, but it's still good. Okay, so we're using the black to get the darker shade so that we get the dome. Let me do it with the pencil just so that you can see the difference. If I do that dark and just quickly do this, let me grab the pencil. Okay, this is my HB pencil, and I'm going to go over the top so you can see there is a difference. As I said, it works just as well, and in fact, yeah, I think I'm going to introduce it as well as part of what we do. Okay, like I was saying, that's the wonderful thing about crafting, doing stuff like this as we go along. I think, oh, I think I'll do that instead. Or let's try this. So the thing is that, just to clarify, what we need for this section are the two pencils, your dark color and your black pencil, coloring pencil. Have the HB pencil handy, and we're going to need the eraser, and we're going to hold on to our sponge. And remember, this one's a makeup sponge, but you can use a sponge that you'd in the kitchen, the normal sponge that you'd use around the house. You can cut that up as well and try and get a little point. It's not essential because it will have sort of edges, won't it? And you can just gently use the bit of the edge of that. But the thing is, when we get there, is to be careful, because it can act as an eraser. So we're just going to go gently, and it doesn't matter if some does come off, we'll just add a bit more. So if this happens whilst we're doing this, it's perfect, because then you can see how it doesn't matter and we can just keep going. So what we haven't done yet is we haven't removed the pencil markings of where we started with. So I'm going to go in with the eraser. Now remember, the eraser needs to be a soft one, because what we don't want it to do is to be so hard that it's not only taking off the paper, it may take off some of the pen that we've put down, and it will make the colour go a bit grey. But if it does do that, just go over it again with your pen. Okay, so I'm going to gently just pull up my sleeve. I'm just going to gently, take your time, and I suggest working, if I zoom out a little bit, there we go, so you can see better. Oh, the sleeves are just going for walks. I'm just going to keep going, just gently. For me, I'm going to go all the way down and up like this. And as I'm going along, like for here, I can see that there's a pen mark. So I'm going to find my 0.1, and I'm going to integrate it like so. And that's the good thing, you can continue doing this. Like that. See, there's another one there. And I'm just going to integrate it. And the best way to do it is as we're doing it. As you see it, then just continue, just add it in as we've done there. The ones in the circle, unless it's really obvious, I would say leave it. So for example, this one here has got lots of extra markings. I'm going to leave it because it's just going to add to the texture, the patterns that's going on in the circle when we come to doing our dome effect, our 3D effect. Like for example, I can see there's one there. Yep. Where'd it go? There we go. So it's just a little one. So I'm just going to gently bring it into the fold. And to add another one here, I think. There. You see what I mean? Just gently bring it in, and it's part of the family. So it's going to go down. So I'm going to leave these bits. Just going to make sure that the pencil marking is gone, because this is the best time to remove it, because otherwise we're going to be removing our pencil. And take your time. Remember to just breathe into it. It's still supposed to be part of that relaxation experience. This is just another stage. Just clearing it out for us to do the 3D effect. Okay, so I'm going to put my eraser down to the side. I think that is good as it is. Oh, I spotted one bit there. Just going to have a quick closer look, I think. That's it. Okay. So now I'm going to pick up the pencils. So the first one we're going to start off with is our color one. And I'm using ultramarine violet from the Castle Arts selection, Soft Touch. And if you've got it, it's number 040. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in so you can have a closer look. Oops, I think that might be too much. Here we go. So now let's pick one. Let's pick this large one, because then it's easier to see than the small one. You can have a really good look at how the shaping occurs. So if you remember at the beginning, I was saying that it's not about thinking about the direction in which the light is coming in on. You can decide that. You can also decide of what is showing behind each other, or casting a shadow on each other. So we're going to have a little go at doing that too, so that we can see how we can show that there's a cast or shadow on each part, and that there, you know, where the lightest part is going to be. Because wherever the lightest part is going to be, that's the bit that's going to look higher. Okay, so to start off with, what we're going to do is we're going to just color the whole thing in very lightly with our color. Now you've got an option. You can color it in like this, or you can color it in holding it like a pencil. I'll just show you again in the screen. So you can hold it like this if you want to, or you can hold it down like this, so then you've got this sort of action, so that feels nice. Or when you're doing it, holding it down here means that you've got lots of control over what you're doing. So that is an option. Or you can hold it slightly away. So what I'm saying is that you've got two techniques. You can do it this way, however you feel you want to hold it, here or down here. Or if you want to, you can hold it underneath. The main thing is that you are careful about the pressure that you're putting down onto the page. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to color the whole thing in first with light, but for you to know your pressure, the best thing to do is to just do this all the way down to the page, and once you start seeing the color, that's your pressure. And also that will give you the pressure of what you want, the darkness or lightness you want. So as I said, we're going to start off lightly. It'll be even lighter there. It's only because I was just showing you the different bits, but be as light and as gentle. I'm just going to go around. I'm not going to say anything for a little while until I finish colouring this in, because this is all part of the process of just relaxing in a meditative way to mode. And take your time. Excuse me. Okay, I'm nearly finished. Okay, so now I'm going to be doing the next layer, but before I do the next layer, I'm going to decide where I want the dome to be, so the top part of it. I'm going to make it around here. So the best way to start is to make it larger than you want it to be, so that you can come into that area and reshape it as you get closer to finishing your dome. So I'm going to mark it like this. So I'm taking the pencil. You may not, hope you can see it, but I'm starting to just make a circle where I'd like it to be. Now it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be in the same place as mine, because it's the same principle. So just decide where you want yours to be. And the only thing to think of is to make it quite large. And I've just marked it a little bit so it reminds me of where that place is. So now I'm going to do the next stage. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to come as far as here. I'm going to be working the dark and the light part up to about here to begin with. so we give ourselves a bit more space to work out the gradient between the darkness and the lighter one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold my pencil up here so that you can see better. Again, now I'm going back in. I'm still not using a lot of pressure. I'm still going lightly, because that's the thing about pencil. It's more about layers rather than going in dark. So I'm staying on one side for now, and I'm going to bring it up. So I'm just bringing it light as we did before. So we're going on here and going up. So here, the darker part, I'm going over it a bit more, and then I'm gradually lifting up the pencil till I get to about here. I'm just going to work my way around doing this. And also the reason for going up to that part is because for me, the circle, the lighter part is on this side. So I'm going to be mindful when I get to around here what I'm doing and how the gradient's going to come up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going here. Again, I'm not going heavy on it. All I'm doing is going over the top until I see it darken, and then I'm going to bring it up just slightly. I'm going to go around to here, and as much as possible colour in the white parts, but it doesn't matter. It's your colouring. If you prefer and you like those light spots, then great. So here it's much closer to the edge, the dark edge, than there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go a little bit like this, and then I'm only going to go about here. I'm not going to go too close. I'm going to stop just shy. Don't know, for me it's around half a centimetre maybe. And I'm just going to go around, because what we're going to do is make this one colour do all the hard work. And you can see that I've gone from holding it quite high to holding it so that I'm using the side of the lead rather than just using the point. Because I am thinking that that's what I want to do, is to use that part of the lead. Now what I'm going to do is to think of one area at a time. So I'm going to look at this part here, and what I'm looking at is I want to ensure that when I go from the dark, by the time I get to here, it's actually it's becoming so light that it will blend into this area. So what I mean is that I'm going to start off dark down the bottom here at the base, and I'm going to gradually again use the hand to raise the pencil up to create that shading. And as I'm doing it, I'm thinking about how far up I want the dark the shadow to be. At this stage, I'm thinking I'm not ready to make that decision yet. I want to keep going round and then build it up again. So for me, I'm going to keep going round, so you can do so too. But as I say, always say, is to look at what's in front of you. You can see your artwork and how your artwork is coming together. And again, this is showing you that literally you can go out with one colour pencil. You can even just use the one pencil, your HB pencil, and still be able to do all of this. You see, I'm just working around the outside now, because what I'm thinking is that now I'm ready to start thinking about the dark areas more. And just before I do that, I'm going to pick up my sponge, and I'm going to gently, very, very lightly, start doing a circular motion and pulling it up into the middle. And I'm just doing it very gradually. And as you can see, it lightens even the dark areas, as you can see. But that's okay. For me, it feels as if it's softening that base so that the rest of the blending will come together quite nicely. Alright, so yours should look a bit more lighter now around the outside. That's okay now. I think I'm going to put the sponge to the side, and I'm going to now concentrate on the dark areas first around the edging. So to do that, I'm going to make sure that right around that I don't go too high. So I'm only going to go about this height here to begin with. So I'm going to go around, and I'm going to get this dark to the darkness that I want it to be. So I'm going to keep going. Now remember that you've got your paper. Is that the one I used? Yep. So what you can do, if you're not sure, double check and just keep going, just to check how dark it can go, just to jog your memory. So that's why it's good to have that nearby, or just scribble again. And also it gives you an idea of your pressure as well. So I'm just going to work my way around, all the way around. And take your time. And remember to breathe. It's always good to remember to breathe, because I tend to do. I get so sort of focus into it that suddenly I'm taking a breath, thinking, oh yes, I'm not breathing. Need to breathe. Okay, so going to come in a bit, because now I've gone round. I'm just going to come in a bit, and you can see just slightly higher because I'm going to start working in the gradient now. So I'm going from the edge and I'm bringing it up slightly the same way that we've done before. So it's going from the edge, don't need to go from the bottom, from the edge, and as you bring it up, you go away from, for me it's going away from me, I'm going to start lightening my tension, like so. Because the best way of doing this like this is because then you've got more control over how you want the dome bit to look, because the darker the dome, especially on the outside, the more the top will sit up on you know, look higher, and it will be, you'll see that we'll start using the black to help us do so as well, to get the darker areas. So now what we're doing, we're just trying to get a bit more of the shape into place so that when we come to use the black, we've got a good idea of the shape and how it may look. You see, I'm just bringing it up closer. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going from the edge this time of where we stopped on the previous row, and I'm doing the same. I'm going dark and I'm coming to light. And as you can see, I'm now going up close to the circle. So let's do it again from that edge. And just go in here. All the way around. Okay, and don't worry if you feel you've done it too dark. Remember, we can always make out here even darker so that it's got the same look and feel. Okay, I think that's good for a base. And also just be mindful of still getting that blended between the different levels of dark to light. Just want to make sure that it's a smooth transition, that it's blended in nicely. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up the black pencil. We're going to be working the two pencils together now. And the thing about using the black pencil, it's going to be in the same way that we used our color pencil. We're not going to go in deep and dark to begin with. We're going to go over the edges bit by bit. So now to start off with, I'm going to take my black pencil and I'm going to go all the way around the outside as close to the border as we can, and really we should be putting it right up against the border, so like so. I'm just going to keep doing this lightly until, well, if you can see that, it's slightly now starting to show the black. It's now starting to show that it's really making that area dark. So I'm going to keep going around. And again, for me, it's just under 1/2 centimetre. So I'm doing it, the darkness I'm doing is that it matches the outside, the outline of the circle. So just take your time. I'm saying the best thing to do is to ensure that you're going around and take your time. And you can see what I'm doing is I'm starting small and then working my way up to be larger. Okay, just make sure that it's nice and dark and it's right up to the edge. Okay, I'm nearly there now. Okay, so now what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to hold my color one in my hand as well. As I was saying, I'm looking at how I want the dome to look. Now, for me, I can see that this part may be darker than here because I want this to look, the top to look as if it's going towards me. So I'm going to work on that in sections. So I feel what I'm going to do is to work on this part first and then to work that up to here. And then from there, we'll see where to go next. So you're starting to hear how my brain is working. This is me thinking out loud what I am doing and how I'm thinking about how I'm actually going to make the colors and make the shape looks the way that I want it to look. And the reason why I'm doing it in this way, that hopefully you'll have that thought process and you'll be able to change it to what suits you. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus down here. So I'm going to go in with the black and bring it in because I want there to be dark, and I'm going to bring this up into the light. Yeah, just bringing it up so that it should start to look grey there. So I'm starting from where I stopped on the other black, and I'm moving it up just slightly. You should be now seeing that this looks as if it's popping, because the idea is that hopefully you can start to see it, that this looks as if it's coming through this gap here. You see, I'm just going up with the black until it looks grey. We don't want it to look black all the way up to there. So we're doing the same thing. We're going to the edge and we're just bringing it up a little bit with the pressure. So it's a little heavier here, not too much, not as much as here. And then as we get closer, we go a lot lighter. So I'm going to stop there a moment and I'm going to go in with the colour, and I'm lightly going to go over the whole thing. And the reason why I'm doing this is that I want to give it the dark blue colour, so that what the black is doing, it's making this even more deeper than how we were going around. So that's how we're starting to use the black, for both ways, for ensuring that we've got that darker area that we need in order to show this the shape. And we've also got the blue for where it's starting to become grey, that grey starts to look more like the blue, and the black bits, when we go over it, will have a tint of the blue as well. So, oh, it's down here, getting carried away. So I'm just going to go lightly over that. Hopefully you can start to see what's happening. I'm just going back in with the black. And I'm going to stop there because remember I'm saying it's a building process. So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually not going to go to the sides. I'm going to jump across and I'm going to go in with the black and again right up to the border. I'm adding the depth by going over and over the black rather than pressing down hard. It's better to do it layer by layer. Now what I'm thinking about now is how far across I want to go. Now I'm sort of looking at it like this. This is how I'm looking at my circle. And what I'm thinking is that I want it to be sort of around here. I want to make it dark around to these 2 points roughly. So I'm going to just do that. So I want to stop here. So I'm going to just do this so I know roughly. Still going to do that mark. You can see that I'm actually lightly, so I'm a bit heavier here, and I'm raising the lead, the pencil, to still get that light. And I'm going to go to about here on mine. So I'm looking at a V shape. All right. So now I'm going to try and focus on this area here. So dark, and then I'm going to work our way up just a little way, not too high at this point, until it turns grey or a hint of grey. And now I'm going to go back in with my pencil, my colour pencil, and I'm just going to go over all of it up to here. Like I said, it's to ensure that even with the black, the dark bits, that it has the colour of the blue, a hint of the blue. So I'm just working my way up a little bit. So every time I'm going into the gradient, I'm not going all the way back, because if I do that, that means I'm adding more colour to it and therefore making it even more darker. So when I'm doing it, I have to ensure that what I'm doing is I'm starting from the edge of the previous layer, if you like, that I left it at, and then to gradually bring it up. So it's the same technique we've been using the whole time, but it's being mindful that when you go over that same area, you're likely that it will become dark. The trick is, well, I don't know how much of a trick it is, but some of you may remember, is the eraser. You can always use the eraser. I'm going to use it just to knock back. So as you can see, I am gently going over it. And it's another way of blending. You can see what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of the eraser part. And the other thing is to be careful, because you can get little blue marks like that, but I'm not worried about it. It's mine and I like it. Okay, so I'm going to go back in again with the blue, sorry, with the black, and go in and put this back in. So it's almost like just knocking it back rather than starting again, thinking of it, knocking it back so that you can rebuild it. And now I'm going to go down the sides a little bit. Bring this back down. We went for a walk. Yeah, so I'll just go back here. This is what I was doing, just in case it was off screen. So from the edge and up a little bit. Because what you want is the black really to turn to a light grey. And before it gets to there, so just to the edge of where the sort of halfway midway between the very dark and the very light of the blue. And as I've been saying, is to do it lightly rather than going in hard, because then it's easier to add than to take away, because as I was showing you, it can get quite messy. Yeah, so doing this, it's a gradual process. So again, now what I'm looking at is that I'm going to keep going. I think I might just focus on this side for a little bit and then come down here. So right for this, I'm going to make the color go into light around here. So this up to here is going to be my lightest point, because remember, we're working towards this area, so little by little is the best way to do it. So from this side, remember I was saying that this is going to be the top and this is going to be the bit that's sort of sticking, the very lightest point, so it does look as if the ball is rolling in that direction. So I'm going to start off here. Again, I've gone with the blue and I'm going to work the blue now. So I'm going in on the dark bit and coming lighter and lighter as I lift up my pencil. So I'm rubbing it in normally and I'm coming up and up. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Remember, just as you're getting closer to here, you're getting lighter. And I'm mindful that this is the area that I will be making the darkest, because it's going to be more in the shade than the top part here. So I've still got the blue in my hand. I'm just trying to hold it where you can see it. Okay. So now I'm going to do is continue with the blue. I'm going to leave I'm still holding on to the black pencil, but I'm going to hold it to the side. And I'm just now going to start doing more of the blending from the edge of where I can see that the mid sort of color is, lightness is. Remember, have a look at yours and see where it is for you. So from here I can see that's where my dark turns to a bit lighter, and the light one I'm going to just eyeball it and say it's about here. So I'm going to bring that closer by from the edge as I'm working this bit in a bit more. Like this. Okay, just want to do a bit more there. Again, just have a look at yours. Don't worry about it not being too dark yet. We're working in layers. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm going to start working more down here. So what I'm doing now is I am starting to really go over it over and over again on this part here, because I want this to be really dark. When I'm going in with my blue pencil first, I'm going to stop around here to begin with, and I'll see from that point, especially after I've done the rest of it, if I need to go a bit higher or whatever it requires. So I'm going in with the black again, because I really want to make sure that I'm working in that colour. And I'm going to go up a bit higher now. Again, making it grey. Don't go all the way up quite heavy. Just always from the bottom, you know, start like this, but as you're going up, to turn it into that grey, just release some of the pressure that you're pressing down with your pencil. Okay, so I'm going to go in again. And you can see I am using that blue and being mindful of that's my colour, my lighter colour bit. And you can see now as I've gone there, that line is starting to sort of disappear. And I'm going to now start working my way around. So doing the same thing, but now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the black yet until I can go around here and check how the blue is looking now. So again, just make sure that you're always going over the bit before. And you can see I'm bringing my pencil, lifting it lighter, making it lighter. So it's going over and over and then up and up. And I'm just going to go around here and blend it in. You see now I'm from here and I'm now going the other way, going out and into the darker shaded area. I hope now you're starting to see yours starting to look more like a dome, more 3D. You see I'm just going, I'm going to come up a bit more, not too much. I think actually that's about right. Don't want it to go too far, because this bit is still going to be the bit that's sticking up. So I'm going to keep going. And this is what you will be doing. You can see what's in front of you. And once you get going and you can start to see the shading and how the light and the dark bit needs to be. You can see I've purposely not worked in this area yet, because this will be whatever this area will look like, will determine how light, or if I need to add any more colour or what to do in that area. So that's the reason why I'm spending more time on these areas. So I'm starting to see that it's giving me that sort of 3D sticking out effect. I'm still using my colour. And I'm starting to feel that actually here is okay. Up to this point here, I'm going to not make it any darker. This is where I want it to stay the blue colour and come up just slightly. Again, I'm starting to blend those markings in. I hope you're starting to see it on your page. I'm going to go in with the black again now, and I need this to be even more darker, and I might take it up a slightly, but let's have a look. I'm going to start by doing it right on the edge first. Okay, I'm going to take it up just slightly, not too much, because you still don't want the dark to be too close to here. Just about this sort of distance is what I'm looking at, but it's going to be grey by the time it gets here. It's not going to be black all the way, at least at this point. And the good thing about doing it like this, you can keep going and keep adjusting it until you get it the way that you want it to be. So I'm going to do so. I still got the black in my hand, and I'm now going to start looking at where. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm working my way around. I don't want this to be too far to the edge, so that the grey, I'm going to make it finish around here, I feel, at the moment. I'm going to bring this part up a little bit. I'm just eyeballing it. That's all I'm doing. And the good thing about doing it lightly and in stages is that it gives you thinking time, thinking room. Okay, I think that's enough of the black. I'm going to be working in more of the blue now. So I'm going to go over the dark parts. And I'm going to, in layers, not pressing hard, just going over and over places where I put the black, so that it's more of the blue that is dark, rather than just having the black, because you've already got black around the edges. I'm going to do that first, and now I'm going to work my way up. I'm going to do here first, I think. So remember, there's going to be more light on here than there is down here, but we still got to be mindful of making sure that we do the gradient as well. So say I'm going to stop about here, make sure it's light around to this point. So here, I'll bring it lighter. And keep going. Okay, so now it's at this point, and I can really see this circle in the middle now. I'm just going to start the blending of it into here. Now the blending, only do it around the outside, so I'm holding it as light as possible. So I'm even holding it down here so that I don't, I let go of having that control and pressing down. I'm less likely to press down if I'm holding it back here. So then what I'm doing is I'm doing the light thing. So keep doing this, and as soon as you feel the paper underneath your lid, stop there and colour from that point, because that's the amount of pressure that you need for this part. So all I'm doing is like we did with the others, I'm just softening it out. So I'm blending from here, and then I'm going light. So do the blending and come out light. Yep, so you're going over and over, because you'll start to see the colour in front of you. You'll start to see the colour darken a little bit. Once you see that, just gently come into the middle, just a little way, and very lightly, and then lift up your pencil lid, like so. So you should be seeing now that that circle is now blended in, rather than really sticking out. Okay, so now I'm just going to still go in there, add a few more touches because I want it to be more blue. So you have a look at yours. I think I still want it to be a bit dark down here, so I'm going to pick up my black. And I still want to add a bit here. So you do the same. You have a look at yours. And remember, if you want to go back a bit or you want to lighten it, you can use your sponge. And remember, just gently do it. So you can see that it's not just blending it in, it's actually removing some of the color off the top. So that's an example. You can go back in and just touch it up again. Don't think of it starting again. You're just going in and touching it up to get the look that you want. Okay, so I'm going to go back in. I really want to see more of the blue up here than the black. You can have a bit of the grey, but we really want to make sure that we see more of that. So I'm going over the black because really what I want it to do is to look as if it's the darker color of the same. The blue that we're using is darker. Get my words together. Okay, so you should be seeing it happening now. You see, I've just put my pencil lid flat as well, lead rather, flat as well. You see, I'm just doing it by eye. I need to go in here a bit more. Until I get the look. I think I'm happy with this. She says, and she's still in there. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop there. So you can see how you can continue creating and working on that until it looks like the dome. Okay, looking more 3D. And you'll find as you go along to do the other bubbles, you will look at the ones that you've done before and you'll start to adjust them based on what's around them and how it looks like in front of you. And again, that is something that you will have to decide on whilst you're there. So this is the end of this session, and just to remember the journey that we took. We first of all, we did a bit of meditation to come into this space. We then drew the circles. We then did the lines. So we spent 30 seconds and we went round and doing all the lines that we're doing in an intuitive way without any control with the pencil. And then we went into each one of the circles and we went over the circle with a 0.1 in this instance to go over just inside each one of the circles, and we softened each one of the edges, any pointers, with curve in it so that there aren't any pointed edges, so that we're softening parts of our thoughts. That's edges, the stressors. We're curving that in. Okay, so removing those points, and then from there we then continue to do the rest of the pencils. We went over again, still using the 0.1, and at the and around, going around here, remember we used the 0.5 to make the circles, which I forgot, apologies. So once we made the circle with let me just get it, it's just beside me here, with the protractor, we did it with pencil and we just worked out where we wanted it to be, and then we went over it with the 0.5 to bring it out. But then when I went away and I came back, jumped back in again, then I said that really what I prefer to use, is it gone walkies? Possibly, there we go, here it is, the 1.2. I decided that the 1.2 for me gave me the depth that I'm looking for what I wanted. So I'm suggesting, even if you can't get this, consider making it even more wider. And the other thing I was going to finish off with is that you can, as we're going, as you see, maybe when you've done all the others, you might want to add some more depth or go over like this, just to get some more definition. So think about that for yours, if that's something that you want to do once you're looking at your piece. And the last thing that we did in this session was to create the dome by using two colors. The main blue color, which is the dark color, or whatever color you've chosen, that it is dark enough for you to get that dark shading, or the shading that you want it to be down to be darkest. Because you can always use the black or a grey to get the darker, get it much more darker than the color, actual color is that you've chosen, like we've done here. So it worked, for example, with a yellow, even orange. All that will act with the same technique, using the grey or a brown. It's something that you will play around with before getting onto here and see how it looks. So that's, as I say, this is where we're going to finish off, and I'll leave you to finish off the rest of your circles. And please join us on in the Facebook group, Crafting Wellbeing. You'll find the link down below, and I'd love to see some of your artwork in there, to share some of your artwork in that space where it's safe and it is a private place, so you'd need me to give you the okay to get through. But as long as you agree to our rules, then everyone's welcome, of course. All right, so thank you for today and see you soon. Bye. Thank you for dropping by and crafting with me today. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bell. You can also join me on Facebook. You'll find the link down below. I look forward to you dropping by and crafting with me again. See you soon.